Hi, students. In our next read aloud book, we are going to be reading Junie B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruitcake. Now, some of you, this might be the first time you read a Junie B. Jones book. Some of you, this might be your third book, because I know for my Greenleaf students, we read the Junie B. Jones and the Sticky Smelly Bus. And Junie B. Jones has a peep in her pocket. And since we just came off from Thanksgiving, so I feel like we need to celebrate another book about food. Now, have you guys had fruitcake before? I don't think I actually have. I had a lot of food, but I don't think I've ever had a fruitcake. So I need to check it out and see why it's yucky bucky. So Junie B. Jones thinks it's pretty gross, so she would not eat the fruitcake, according to this illustration. And this Junie B. Jones is by Barbara Park. Okay, and I'm gonna scroll through here. And if you look on the contents page, there are, how many chapters do you see? There are 8 chapters. So the first chapter we are going to be reading is called The Bestest Game Winner. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like the B. That's all. Do you guys have a middle name that you guys don't like? Or do you guys be called by your middle name? I like my middle name, but I just stick to my first name. I'm in the grade of kindergarten. It is the afternoon kind. Afternoon kindergarten is better than morning kindergarten. That's because you get to sleep late and watch cartoons. Only guess what? Today, my baby brother Ollie waked me up too early. Ooh, have you had mornings where you woke up very early due to a sibling or your pet or your parents or maybe something outside that woke you up? Yeah, I get those sometimes. I live near the railroad tracks, so sometimes the train will wake me up early in the morning, and that makes me very cranky too. He was screaming for his bottle, but screaming is not polite, and so he needs some discipline, I think. I sat up in my bed. Hey, be quiet, I hollered. Mother opened my door, speedy quick. Her eyes were angry at me. Junie B. Jones, what do you think you're doing? She growled. I hid from her under my sheet. I think I'm doing discipline, I said, kind of quiet. Please, Junie B., not today, said Mother. Daddy and I need you to be on your best behavior. We both have to go to work early, and Grandpa Miller is coming to babysit. Just then I heard the front door open. Grandpa, it's my grandpa, Frank Miller, I shouted. I jumped out of bed and ran to meet him. Only too bad for Grandpa, 'cause he didn't see me coming around the corner, and I accidentally butted him in the stomach with my head. Grandpa Miller yelled the word, oof. Then he bent over in half, and me and Mother and Daddy had to help him walk to the couch. Daddy did a frown at me. How many times have I told you not to run in the house? He said. I counted on my fingers. 1,000,000, trillion, skadillion, I think. Only I'm just guessing. After that, Mother made me sit on her lap, and she told Grandpa Frank Miller the babysitter's instructions on me. Babysitter instructions is all the stuff I'm not allowed to do. Like no climbing on top of the refrigerator, and no putting lipstick on my dog named Tickle, and no making Ollie lick a potato, except for he didn't actually mind it that much. After the babysitter's instructions, Mother and Daddy kissed me goodbye. Then they went to work. I jumped way high in the air. Oh boy, now they're gone. And so you and me can have fun. Right, Grandpa? Right? I zoomed to the to the kitchen and climbed on top of the refrigerator. Hey, Grandpa, come look where I am. Grandpa Miller came into the kitchen. And then look, she climbed all the way to the refrigerator. I was not able to do that when I was her age. Yeah, I'm not a really big fan of heights. Look how high I am up here. Now I can be king, and this can be my throne. And you're my servant named Pinky, and you have to fetch me stuff. And also, I get to hit you in the head with my sword. Grandpa Miller lifted me off the refrigerator. He put me back on the floor. Yeah, only I didn't give you permission to do that, Pinky, I said. Sorry, little girl, but you heard the rules, sang Grandpa. And anyhow, I have to finish feeding Ollie his breakfast bottle. He went back into the living room. Hey, Grandpa, you just gave me a very great idea, 'cause I think I'll eat my breakfast too. Only I can fix mine all by myself. I hurried up and got out the ingredients. Ingredients is the stuff you mix together, like the bowl and the spoon and the cereal and the milk. Except for the milk carton was very too heavy for me, so I just got the orange juice instead. I put my bowl of cereal on the floor, and then I poured orange juice to the tippy top of it. I took a giant bite. Yum, I said. This is the most delicious breakfast I ever ate, except for it doesn't actually taste that good. Just then, Grandpa Miller came into the kitchen. He said no eating on the floor. Yeah, but I don't like to sit on my big kitchen chair, I said, 'cause I'm not tall enough to reach the table. And so Mother makes me sit on the telephone book. Only that hurts my behind. My grandpa looked into my bowl. What in the world are you eating? He said. I'm eating cereal and orange juice, I told him. It's very delicious, except for it's going to make me puke, I think. Then Grandpa Frank Miller opened the refrigerator so he could find me a better kind of breakfast. How about some fruit, he said. Yeah, I shouted. Yay for fruit! Fruit is the bestest thing I love. I folded my hands very polite. I would like some bananas and peaches and some strawberries, please. And so Grandpa sliced all those fruits into a bowl, and then he let me eat them in the living room in front of the TV. Ooh, now that's fun. And I'm not even allowed to do that. Only we're not telling Mother. And here's another fun thing. After breakfast, baby Ollie took his nap, and me and my Grandpa Miller played Old Maid. And I win him 5 whole times in a row. That's because I kept on putting the Old Maid way higher than the rest of my cards, and he kept on picking it. Grandpa Frank Miller is a sucker, I think. Me and him play lots of more games, too. Their names are Who Can Skip the Fastest and Who Can Hop on One Foot the Longest, and also the game of Tic-Tac-Toe. And guess what? I win all of those games, too. I'm the bestest game winner in the whole world, I said. And then I run into my room to get ready for kindergarten. First, I put down on my favorite pants with the polka dotties on them. And then I found my favorite sweater with the cow on front. It was in the dirty clothes hamper, only it didn't stink that much. After that, I combed my hair with my fingers, and I brushed my teeth, except for not the wiggly one. Grandpa made me a sandwich for lunch. It was jack cheese. I ate it up. Then I gave him a big kiss. And I skipped to my school bus very happy. I'm the bestest winner. I'm the bestest winner. I sang real loud because winning is the funnest thing I love. And that was all of chapter 1. And the title of that chapter was called The Bestest Game Winner, because she kept beating her Grandpa Miller in all the fun games they played. And in the second chapter we are going to be reading, it's called Hoppin' and Racing and Tic-Tac-Toad. Now, is there really a game called Tic-Tac-Toad? I've heard of Tic-Tac-Toe, but not Tic-Tac-Toad. And we'll read chapter 2 next time. See you guys later.